Oh man. Oh. Oh. Alrighty. What's up, y'all? What's good? Just realized I don't have my light on. Hold on. There we go. Not a clan stream without the light. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. All right. So let's let a few people get in here. This is a weird time because no one would be expecting a live stream right now. So maybe we should let the Instagram people know. We'll let them know. It's only right. It's only right. Let's see here. Let's add the link. All right. There we go. They know now. I am here. There we go. It has been posted. It has officially been posted. Everybody that's in here, how you doing? Juan, what's up? Todd, what's up? Aber Ahmed? Hopefully I said that right. How are you? Ooh, definitely got a few things to talk about. A beer. Oh, a beer. Hey, a beer. All right. Let's see. Got some things to go over. Got a few things to go over. Just bringing it on up. Bringing it on up. I'm confused by this. So this is a comic book artist, and he had Steph Castle sign this, and he says, "I'm a comic book artist and met him at an appearance and had him sign this. I'm hoping to give him a finished art piece on March 21st, and after seeing how he punishes, so is he going to like draw over this and then give it to him? I'm a little confused." What's up, Mike? What's up, Gervin? Say I don't exist. You weren't in the chat. I can't see who's viewing the video right now. I can just see the chat. Yeah, I don't quite understand that. Let's see. Got a few things to. Sorry, I was looking at a Steph Castle dunk. Okay. Why is Flavor Flav trending on Twitter? What's going on? I don't understand. What? Flav. Pretty sure Weird Al is an absolute legend, but this person needs more than cultural education. This Yoshi person, what's up with black people telling everyone they're a legend? Do they not know what that means? And then Flav said, what's up with people not knowing the difference between no and no? What about there and there? Wait a minute. What is it controversial? Because Flavor Flav said Weird Al is a legend. I'm so confused. What? Why is he trending? I don't understand what's going on. And Weird Al is a legend. Why is he trending? He's the next Spurs coach? That would be wild. Why is Amber Rose trending? Why are these? This is the weirdest things to be trending right now. What? Shannon Sharp had Amber Rose on? Gross. Why would he have Amber Rose on? Oh. Speaks on Kanye West. Recent actions. I don't think he has anybody around him that's loving on him the proper way. I think that he has enablers around him that don't actually care about him. Okay. I mean, it's true, but... Okay. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done with that. Maybe. He might be. It's a legend right now. Legendary Korean director wants to do an alien movie, but as a musical. Got it. Alright. Cool. Alrighty. Let me take a look here. See what we got going on. So, wanted to... Let's go over this. When did the Spurs play again? Friday? Spurs play Friday, so I got a few things that we can go over. I think would be a good idea. All right. Devin Vassell. Our boy Devin Vassell got his mojo back. All right. I want to take a look at this. I wasn't able to look at it right after the game, so I want to look at it now. So Devin Vassell's post game, he has some things to say. We already know that he said after the game, he spoke to the audience in San Antonio and was like, "Hey, thank you for being patient." Don't quite know what he means by that. I don't know who was patient. Not many Spurs fans were patient to sit back and just see what happens or let him get his rhythm back. Instead, people called him soft, said that he's garbage, said that he needed to be traded for nothing. He's trash. I said this time and time again. After the whole De'Aaron Fox situation, it has shifted my view of like what I'll be willing to give up, right? Like after the Spurs were able, and after the Luka Doncic situation too, after the Spurs were able to get De'Aaron Fox for basically nothing, I mean, let's just be real, and keep all of their players, I'm not willing to sit back and say, oh yeah, I'll just give up Devin Vassell, right? Like, is there a player better than De'Aaron Fox? If you were able to get De'Aaron Fox for nothing, is there a player better than De'Aaron Fox that you will be able to trade Devin Vassell for? And I don't think so. I think Devin Vassell is a good complementary piece. I think that he is a third to fourth option on a team. And if he's a third or fourth option, he's a phenomenal third or fourth scoring option, right? And oftentimes those fourth options, third options are inconsistent sometimes. And that's okay. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh my goodness, my cat just scared me. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, I'm good. I'm not just going to give you up for nothing. I'm not going to give you up for nothing because I don't have to give up anything apparently. Why just ship him off when you can get De'Aaron Fox for just a few picks and Zach Collins? Like, I'm cool. I'm chilling. Anyways, let's listen to what he has to say.
He talked about it for sure. It's just a matter of time. Just got to stay confident. I think that's the biggest thing, you know.
Oh, really? Crazy how I mention that all the time, that he just has confidence issues. Crazy. Insane. And by the way, those of you who say that he's getting paid way too much money, first off, it's one down season. All right, let's relax. But number two, look at the other players around him that are making the same amount of money. For you to say that he's overpaid, I don't believe that at all. For his talent level and what he's capable of doing, I don't think that he's overpaid. Now, has he played up? There's a difference, okay? Has he played up to his contract during this short period of time where he's been, down, where he's like hitting like 8 points, 6 points or whatever? No, of course not. Obviously, you want more than that, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that he's overrated or he's not capable of doing it. He's done it. We've seen him do it. Last season was his best season thus far, and this is a down season, and that's okay. Sometimes players have down seasons. It happens. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's not worth it. He still brings a lot of attention when he's on the court. He's not left open. Just because he's having a bad stretch, it doesn't mean that the scouting report is different going into these games. Teams still go into these games and say, do not give Devin Vassell open shots, right? He's still important to the team. So, I don't know. The whole notion that he's absolute garbage, he's trash, he got to get out of here, and he's soft, I don't think any of that. I think Devin Vassell has been consistent as far as his effort, but his shot just isn't going down, right? And that's what he really feel comfortable doing. Taking those outside shots, those crazy 3-point shots.
Shots or whatever I might get in my own head, and Mitch talks about it and other people talk about it. And that's just the nature of the game.
What?
Whatever I might get in my own head, and Mitch talks about it and other people talk about it. And that's just the nature of the game.
Oh, okay. He said Mitch talk about it, other people talk about it. Wonder what he meant by that. Fans? Maybe he just meant other coaches. He does get in his own head. It's very obvious.
Game, but I got to stay confident. It's my 5th year in the league, and I feel like the more aggressive I am, not even just to score, but just to make plays, like the better that we are playing. So just got to stay with it, but appreciate my coaches and my teammates for just encouraging me, truthfully.
Just as proud of the rebounding, 10 season high.
For sure.
Match season high.
For sure.
Assists.
The assists, rebounds, 4 steals. I mean, they challenged me in the beginning of the season to get back to the defense that I was playing my first couple of years, and that's what I've been trying to do. There's games where I feel like I've been good at it, and there's games where I feel like I've slacked off a little bit. So they challenge.
I think it's hard to balance the two. I think it's really hard to balance the two. To be such a really great scorer and then also defense. I think another reason why that might be part of the like when he said that he slacked a little bit, I think part of it might also be getting Sochan and then getting Wembanyama, right? Like those two guys, when they're on the court together specifically, they really carry a lot of weight. It's Castle as well, right? I mean, Vassell is not as good of a defender as those three. Even if he's trying his hardest, he's not as good as a defender as those three. But he's a really good off-ball defender. But I think that it's pretty natural to slack in that regard a little bit, right? But I don't know. I still think that he's shown a lot of effort, plenty of effort, Just got to balance.
That's
Offense
today,
with
this morning,
defense.
and I kind of took it to heart.
You say they challenged you to play the defense. You did the first couple. Did they take you back and show you film of that, or do they?
I mean, really, we just talked about it. It's not really just film clips, but I mean, just stuff that we talk about. Me just being engaged in the passing lane, just being that menace, like in help side, and just doing the stuff that I know I can do. Not just being lazy off the ball, you know.
Was there a point tonight you kind of started to feel like this could be a?
Man, if Devin Vassell had been lazy off ball, then I don't know. I don't know ball. The main issue with what a Bezzy says, the main issue with our young players is them trying to find a balance in offense and defense. That's what I was thinking.
Special night for you.
I think when I shot that transition pull up, the dribble pull up, that's when I was like, all right, yeah, it's definitely going for sure.
You had to shoot that one.
No, I had to. I had to. Nobody stepped up. I had to, for sure.
What about the dunk earlier in the end? Did that get you going a little bit?
You know, I shout out Steph on that one, man. He gets some good dunks every game, and he always is talking. He's always talking to me like, bro, when you gonna dunk? And I'm like, bro, I saved my dunks, and then when I dunked, he was the first person that looked at me. So he got a nasty one today too. So that's like, it's like every sometime I try and get a dunk in, he want to try and get a dunk in. It's like, bro, come on, let me just get one.
If you got the chance, would you rather do the dunk contest or the 3-point contest?
3-point, man.
3-point contest. I'll say that for Steph. Maybe we'll come out with a little something in the summer where we all do like a Spurs dunk contest, and we'll just. You heard it here first.
You mentioned staying confident. Is that with kind of the ups and downs of this year, and even like going back to the summer, has it been kind of a challenge for you to stay up? Like stay.
It's a mental game. It's definitely a lot of mental. You know, I feel like we've talked about it at the beginning of the season. Obviously, I didn't have the summer that I wanted to have when it comes to preparing and just working out and staying.
Oh, really? Obviously, that was part of it as well. He had an injury, didn't have a legitimate offseason, came back, aggravated it. Oh my God, I can't speak. Re-aggravated it.
Staying in the gym, I was doing a lot of rehab and stuff, but it's not an excuse. Just staying confident. Like you said, there's games I can't get 6 shots and not be aggressive. There's games, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get it. Like, there's different games, and every game is going to be different. But like, just being that aggressive, I think that's what everybody's looking for, and that's fine. Like, I hold myself to a standard. I know everybody else holds me to a standard, and I just got to accept that.
You mentioned not having the summer you wanted because of the surgery and everything. Like, do you think people underrate how much that throws off a player to not be able to really have their?
I mean, it is what it is. I think everybody's going to have their opinions at the end of the day of what it is. We get paid a lot of money to come out here and play the game. And so, you know, I just got to come out here and be aggressive and be confident every single time I step out on the court.
When you went back in, Dev, at about the 8-minute mark or so of the game, can I assume that you knew you were 7 away from setting a new career high?
I mean, I was just looking at the score. We were up like 25, and the next thing you know, we were only up like 17, and it was one of those where, like, you know, you can have the lead, but how quick the NBA is, it can flip. So it's just like, I just wanted to kind of get that lead back going, so, you know, we can win this game. They were looking for me though, so I was gonna keep shooting for sure.
So when you take the 3 that put you over the top, did you know in that moment that was going to be it, or that would have been it had it gone in?
Yeah, no, for sure. They definitely wanted me to get that, and I wanted to get it personally myself, but I wasn't going to force it neither. Once I didn't make the last 2, it was like, it's all right. As long as we win this game, I'm fine with that, and that's what happened.
We were talking about Steph's dunks, but he also had that inbound pass off Sharp's back.
I seen that.
For a bucket.
Steph is special, man. Like, it's not too many
Wish Devin would have got to 40.
rookies and players that play house like Steph is. You know, I don't know what we all expected coming into this year, but I think he's exceeded that, obviously, and it's just he just plays so confident, he plays free, and that's the Steph that we need. We don't need him thinking or worrying.
And he's a champion. Don't forget that, all right? He's going to be ready. He's going to be playoff ready by the time we're at that. Mixa, why'd you hit that button?
About this or that. As long as he's playing confident, free, and aggressive, like, he helps us out so much on both ends of the floor.
37 assists tonight. That's 200 games in a row with at least 20. I think that's a record.
Yeah.
How much of that is like Spurs culture, Spurs way? How much is that ingrained in you guys?
That's all we talk about, Spurs culture, Spurs way. Good to greats. I think these past couple games, it's been a lot of good to greats. We get an open 3, and it's a good 3, but maybe the extra pass is a great 3 in the corner. Or it's a good mid-range, but somebody has to open three. Like, we've just been preaching it, and it's contagious. If I'm making an extra pass and De'Aaron's making an extra pass and CP's making an extra pass, I mean, you got to make the extra pass. So it's contagious.
If we have any resemblance of the 2014 Spurs, we are going to be literally unstoppable. Literally unstoppable. Because if your core can do that, everyone that comes in will just fit right in. I love it. I've heard enough make Devin the next coach over Mitch. He's very optimistic.
And it helps us out for sure.
He's very optimistic and upbeat.
You like De'Aaron's already gotten into that Spurs way, the good, the great.
100%. He's bought in, and you stick out like a sore thumb if you don't. So I think he's bought into it, and as we continue to just keep.
That's what I mean. As long as the core got it impact, anybody else that comes, they're just gonna get with the program.
Keep playing, and over the years keep playing. I think this team has something special.
About Biz celebrating that new contract.
Shout out Biz, man. Biz is just a great guy. He helps us out in the locker room. His presence, on the court, whether it's setting screens, whether it's rebounding, blocking shots. I mean, the energy that he has is contagious, and he helps us out a lot. So he talks to us during the game, and he helps us to keep talking. As a young group, we know we need to talk more, and he helps us with that.
Love to see it. There was a new contract? What's the contract? Was there a contract? Oh, sign him for the remainder of the season? Oh, okay. I mean, I figured as such. Okay, cool. That's good. That was nice. I always love to hear Devin Vassell speak. You think that's what's going on with Malachi? I went to the Spurs game and was sitting behind the bench, and he was goofing off the whole time. It's like he was content with not playing. I don't know. I wouldn't think too hard about it. Like, not bought into. I don't know. I don't think so. Malachi's a little I don't know. Very talented, but yeah, he's a little strange. You know? Like when he had that burner account and he was like sticking up for himself, but basically just telling people that they don't have enough money, like get your money up. Like that was pretty bad. Said what he's supposed to do, cry on the bench. Yeah, true. I think that there's good energy. Like I see Blake Wesley messing around. Like I think it's good energy on the bench. They need to play Malachi, period. Yeah, I don't really see too much of a reason for him not to play. Right? Like he's one of our best 3-point shooters. You can utilize him, but they just don't. And also, I don't want to overly justify Mitch Johnson's lineups. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, he's doing it for this sound reason because he's just not, he's just not buying into Spurs culture. That's why he did it. It's like, yeah, that's a legitimate reason, but I don't want to just put that on Malachi because Mitch Johnson has given really bad lineups just in general, right? I don't want to put that on him. All right, let's see here. So who else we got? We got Chris Paul. Why did they talk to Chris Paul after this game? All right. She hit the thing.
Chris Devin said tonight was all about him staying confident. He's had ups and downs, but he, trying to maintain confidence. That's what Mitch has been telling him. You guys encourage him with that also?
Yeah, I think that's the way you got to be in this league. You got to try to stay as even keel as possible and trust the work.
No one cares what. I'm trying to see what his shirt says. That's actually, you can look at the shirt and tell that's a nice quality shirt. That is a nice quality tee. I want it.
In your game is the fact that the Spurs tonight set an all-time NBA record for 200 consecutive games with at least 20 assists. Is that significant to you?
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, that's the way I played, my entire career, and playing against this team for a long time. It just shows the culture, and that's hard to do. It just shows.
That's why I always bring up, man. It is a well-oiled machine. So even when Duncan isn't here, right? The Spurs were able to go to the Western Conference Finals. Even when, I guess we'll see what happens with Pop. He optimistic that he'll be back next season, but let's just say he isn't, right? Let's just say Pop doesn't come back. We still have a really nice system thanks to him, right? Thanks to him, thanks to the front office, and they still operate the same way. Now, obviously, you're going to need a really good coach to make those in-game decisions, those certain lineups, matchups, whatnot, and be able to connect with the team on a personal level. Like, we'll have to get that. But thanks to Pop and the system that he's created, it's left behind a blueprint. I know DeJounte Murray said that he left us a blueprint. Thank you so much, DeJounte, for that blueprint you left. But in actuality, Popovich and Duncan's group, they left a blueprint on what it means to win. How do you win? You can always go back to that and see what worked with those teams, right? And yeah, so the culture will not change. I think that it will remain how it is, because it is from top down, front office to the coaches to the players. Everyone's bought in.
Goes at night in and night out, just sharing the ball.
Number 2 on the list is the Showtime Lakers.
Why y'all keep bringing up? You said Tony Parker's going to coach the Spurs. Somebody said Tim Duncan's going to coach the Spurs. Manu's going to coach the Spurs. Well, first off, I don't want Tim Duncan coaching the Spurs. I think Tim Duncan's a horrible coach. Oh, girl, you almost fell. I think Tim Duncan's a horrible coach. All right. And I don't know how good Tony Parker would be.
Yeah, they won a lot of games though. So.
When young guys come into the league, how difficult or not difficult it is to teach them to play that way, to not just be score first and move the ball and.
Yeah.
Oh, are you a Nets fan? I'm sorry, man. Said my Nets front office really gave Nick Claxton $100 million, and he got washed by Biyombo. Sorry, man.
It's tough.
Tim Duncan's undefeated as a coach, though. Tim Duncan wasn't even coaching. He wasn't even coaching. That was Becky.
Especially now, you gotta watch. I think that's my advice to any of the young guys coming to the league now is you actually gotta get addicted to the process. And it's very time consuming. It's kind of boring, but you can't rush the process and you can't skip steps.
And it becomes second nature after a while. So
I think that's what happens a lot is, guys want everything right away and don't understand the time commitment that it takes, the sacrifice, on vacation during the summer, watching your clips and all this stuff. It's really hard. There's ups and downs. There's injuries. There's heartache and all that, but it's all part of the process. So. It's a journey. It's a marathon.
Do you get the sense that, especially with just kind of everything that's gone on with
Tony Parker has been looking after his French team lately. He's been attending a lot of Spurs games, it feels like. If Parker wanted to be the Spurs coach, I will have my arms wide open to allow it. Like I have to say so, but I don't know. Me personally, I would like Steve Kerr if he ever becomes available, or I would like Messina if he would like to come back to the NBA, or Becky. Those are kind of my 3 right now.
This team this year, do you get the sense that the young guys in the locker room are absorbing everything that you just said?
I hope so. I think so. You have to ask them. It's just trying to always find an identity, figuring out how you're going to play a style of play. And I think Shea might have said in his post-game press conference, every time you step out on the court, I think he said it last night, you're just playing to win. It ain't for a stat. It ain't for it's just whatever I got to do to win the game. And I think we figuring that out.
You enjoying playing with Biz again?
Yeah, man. Biz is an unbelievable guy, man. I tell you, sort of the same situation when he came to our team in Phoenix. You know, I think we went on an 18-game winning streak. We was 18-0 his first 18 games when he came to Phoenix. And Biz just a consummate pro. I think guys in our locker room are learning from him. You know, you always wonder
I did not know that. Are we about to make the playoffs? Is that what Chris Paul is saying right now?
People say about you when you're not around, and Biz is, when B. Wright said we had a chance to get him, I said, well, I'm a little biased. So, yeah, I love Biz.
Chris, while Steph Castle was already stood out when he got here, seeing how far he's come in just these last couple of months, just wondering if he can, speak to where he is right now, and obviously just continuing to ascend.
He's looking really good. I think, it's always a process, learning the difference in this game and the college game, and especially as athletic and, strong as he is. I think he's starting to learn that, if he gets into the lane.
Oh, I see what his shirt says now that my cat is like bending down. It says, "No one cares, work harder." All right.
Lane and pass it and move it, that it'll come right back to him, but it's different. It's different when you get here and you drive in the lane and 6'10", 6'11 guys in there blocking shots or whatnot. But we've been doing a really good job lately of doing good to great as far as passing and moving the ball.
You see him assist to himself off Sharp's back?
Yeah. And then dunked it. You know what I mean? So he is definitely a freak of nature and should be in this league a long time doing that.
Sorry if you've been asked this since Pop. It was kind of the announcement was made that he would not be returning this season. Just want to get your thoughts on that, Chris. I know the conversation you had with Pop was integral in you coming here. So to have it work out the way it did.
Yeah, this is a great. Thank you for asking us.
Only played a handful of games for him, this regular season games for him. Just, this.
It's tough, man. But, as people always say, life is lifing. Things happen. Things happen that are bigger than the game. And so I think my relationship with Pop goes way beyond whether or not he gets a chance to coach me. And so just getting a chance to see him the other day was special. A lot of things aren't ideal. We didn't know that Vic would have the situation that he's had and all the different things, but there's a lot of gratitude.
I say this, and I don't mean this as like this is a good thing, okay? None of this is a good thing. But, with Popovich not being here and with, Victor Wembanyama dealing with what he's dealing with, I really do think that we're going to see a growth and a shift for, I guess we already have seen it, with Steph Castle and this group in general, right? The leadership of even some of the young guys, of Keldon. I think he's been a pretty good leader. I have my gripes about him for sure, but I think verbally, I think he's been good. Sochan being willing to just take on any role that the team asks of him, not complaining, putting his head down and fighting every single night. I think that shows a lot of just character. I just think it's going to be no one seems like they're out there for themselves, right? It's kind of similar to what I saw with Derek White. Like when Derek White was super young, when he first got to the San Antonio Spurs and he would get garbage time, I would say, I remember going on Instagram and like lots of people, I used to go on Instagram Live all the time, and I was like, yo, guys, I think this guy should be the future point guard, not DeJounte. And so many people were upset about it. But honestly, what I saw was a player that not getting a lot of time, but when he does get his time, he's not sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to show you coaches that I deserve to be in the game. He's not out there being selfish. He would end the game, like play, let's say garbage time, 7 minutes or whatnot, 0 points, 4 assists. And you look at his game and it's a lot of nuance there where he was willing to do the extra small things, right? He wasn't in it just for his stats. He was just playing as a legitimately great point guard, a really good point guard, right? So, like, and I'm starting to see that with this team. No one out there is like, oh, Wemby's out. It's time for me to get my it's time for me to put up points. Not really. It seems like the game is just naturally coming to everybody, and they're playing as a team. I think that shows a lot of character, and it shows that we are going in a direction that this is going to be a championship team. Just some of the main guys. Some of the main. I mean, obviously people are going to be gone, but yeah, I think DJ was very selfish, especially during the end of the 2021 playing game. He was so selfish. He was selfish throughout that entire season. Stats wise, everyone was praising it, but there were many games where I was arguing with the chat because people would say, "What do you mean he hit the game winner?" And I'm like, he wasn't giving it to the hot hand. Like other players were hot, and he elected to take it upon himself. Right? Like that's not winning basketball. So yeah.
That comes with just being able to go out and continue to compete, and that's how I feel.
Aaron's going back to Sacramento. You've been in that situation. What? Any advice for him? Or?
Yeah, we were just in the locker room talking about it. I've been in that situation a few times.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox about to go to. Oh, that's Friday. That's Friday? Hey, Alexa, who do the San Antonio Spurs play next?
The Kings and Spurs are facing off on Friday, March 7th at 9 p.m. Do you also want to follow San Antonio Spurs to receive notifications about them?
No. Friday? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, this is going to be dope.
And this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to sort of take it all, watch it all take place, especially with me not being the center of attention this time. But I think for me, he's a pro.
How are Kings fans going to react? I have no idea. A lot of times, well, I don't know, internet is real life. But sometimes there's a disconnect between like some people that you see on. I don't know how Kings fans feel about Fox. They shouldn't be upset. I don't really understand it unless I'm missing something. They're gonna lose their. You think they're gonna be angry? I guess I just have a hard time deciphering between, the squeaky wheels, right? The squeaky wheels get the oil, right? I have a hard time deciphering between the squeaky wheels and the majority. Just don't know. I don't know. I hope it's just a Reddit bubble. Yeah, maybe it's just an echo chamber. Is it echo chamber or echo chamber? It's echo chamber, right? Why did I say eco? Does it matter? Does it matter how you say it? Echo chamber? Echo chamber? Echo chamber?
Whatever his thoughts are, his thoughts. I know he is very familiar with that team, that arena, or whatnot. I just know when I was in those situations, all I wanted was my teammates to support me, and I think that's what we'll all do and try to go out there and make sure we get the win. Yep.
You love to see it. I hope we beat the brakes off of the Kings. Oh, we beat the brakes off the Kings. That was good. That was actually better than a lot of the Chris Paul post games we've watched before. All right, you guys know I have to sprinkle in just a little bit, just a little bit of player love here, okay? Just a tiny bit. So as you guys know, Jeremy Sochan, you probably know of him, right? You probably know him a little bit. So the hate for Sochan has diminished a little bit during this season, which is good. But then it got transferred over to Devin Vassell. So I think that we're always going to just need a scapegoat until the Spurs are winning. But with that being said, I just want to show you a few stats that I came across that were pretty great. So we already saw this one. This is, no new news right here. But this is Sochan's career defensive field goal percentages versus all-stars and all-star caliber players. So I don't think I have to say that this is impressive. This is obviously extraordinarily impressive. The reason why, because obviously you can see these percentages are very low. Like you got SGA in here, you got LaMelo Ball, you have LeBron James, super low. But what makes this so special to me is, and this is why I think we don't need to discredit this type of talent that we have, right? This is very important to our process. But what's really special here is that so many of these guys play different positions altogether. You have guards in here, you have small forwards in here, you have power forwards. Like this is not normal. This is not normal. So I think it's very disingenuous when some people say, oh, well, anybody can do that or plenty of players can do that. No, they can't. Guard this many. No, they can't. They can't. And I hate that it comes down to a player having to get multiple steals or multiple blocks for anything to be put on notice. This is impressive. Holding SGA to 34%. And this is a trend. This isn't like, oh, he did it one time or a couple times. This is a trend. It happens with a lot of star caliber players that he can essentially lock down, right? So just want to bring this one up. So this one isn't new, but this one is new. I did not see this one until now. Oops. That's the same one. I didn't see this one till now. So, fewest points per possession given up guarding ISOs. So this is just one-on-one. What you got? And as you can see, Jeremy Sochan is number 1. Number 1. I don't like. Okay, let me tell you how I go about things. Right, it's obvious that I have a bias towards Jeremy Sochan. I've always had a bias towards Jeremy Sochan. Before he was even drafted, I told you guys I want Sochan. Right, it was Sochan and Dyson Daniels. Like those are my main ones. Like these are the guys I want. Right, you can go back and look at some of my old posts. I wanted Sochan before the draft. I thought that he would be perfect for us going forward. I thought that he had enough of a ceiling, but also his floor being good enough for us to build upon that and get us a superstar and have a really great defensive team. Like, I always felt that way. So I have a bias towards Jeremy. But one thing that I try to do is I don't just base things just on how I feel, right? Feelings can only get you so far. Eye test can only get you so far. So me watching these games, yes, I see the eye test. My eye test tells me Jeremy Sochan is doing his thing. He's really great defensively. But I also like to see the stats behind it, right? I like to see the stats behind it. And the stats scream that Sochan is a top defender in the NBA. Screams it that he's at least a top 5 to 10 player in the NBA defensively. And even offensively, there's nothing pointing towards him being bad offensively. Everything has pointed towards him being pretty at the top, right? I mean, I won't bring it up again because I think I bring it up way too often. But if you look at the percentiles, yeah, he's like top of the league in a lot of different areas. So, yes, am I biased? People can easily say you're biased towards Sochan. Of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, obviously. I like Sochan as a player. I've always liked that type of player. But if the stats were just completely against me here, and he was one of the worst defenders in the NBA, I'm not going to sit here and use my feelings, my fifis, to say, oh, no, guys, actually he is a good defender. All the stats point towards I'm right. I'm completely right to feel the way that I feel. It just is what it is, right? It was the same thing with Derek. Derek White's on this list too, by the way. He's number 9, as you can see. Number 9. Same thing with Derek. I've always felt that way about Derek. I've always liked him. But then the stats scream at me, yeah, he is good. You have a reason to like him. So just wanted to bring some of these up because this is not something that you're going to be able to watch or see right after the game. When you jump on ESPN and say, how did Jeremy Sochan do this game? This isn't going to pop up. This isn't going to pop up. But he's in great company. A few names that stand out to me: Amen Thompson, Dyson Daniels, Derek White, Siakam. Right? That's pretty doggone good. Not going to lie. I don't know. And also, I love that. If y'all play like Sochan during pickup, you will always get chosen to play. Yeah, playing hard, strong fundamentals. Yeah, Does he make mistakes? Sure. But I think a lot of times his mistakes are, I think for now, like I think right now a lot of his mistakes are overblown only because Sochan is, he's a personality, you know? So people are going to criticize him even harsher. And I think a lot of people don't even know why they criticize him harsher than other guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. If Sochan was on that 2014 team, he fits right in. That's not even that crazy of a take because I think that his type of archetype fits in with a lot of different teams. But with the 2014 team, he would fit right in. I think there's a quote here that I wanted to bring up. Oh, yeah. I'll leave you on this note. This is what Mitch Johnson had to say. Oops. Can you read that? Of course you can't. I'll read it for you. He's a team player. He's versatile. He'll do what is asked of him to win. Again, I've said this a few times. I think sometimes he's talking like me. I do that all the time. Like, guys, like I've always said, like I do that all the time. I've said this a few times. I think sometimes the position stuff gets overblown with him. I think he's probably been guarded. Similarly, if we call him a shooting guard tonight, they are not going to guard him differently. But to your question, his commitment and investment to the team is doing what is asked of him is tremendous. You see him flourishing and developing in all these different ways, and the versatile puzzle piece he can fit with a lot of different types of players and different lineups, which is very valuable. This is the reason why I don't trip about him coming off the bench. There's so many people that I've seen say, well, he's coming off the bench because obviously he's trash. No. Did you even watch him at Baylor? He came off the bench. And the reason being is because you can use him in so many different ways. For now, even though I think that it will be more beneficial for him to just go ahead and start, honestly. I don't like our starting lineup. It hasn't been good. But, you know, the reason why they're doing it is because, he has to back up the center. He has to be backup center. That's it. They want him to have as much energy as possible because he got an assignment every night. He has to be backup center. So you can just fit him in so many different ways, and it's totally normal for this type of player for you to be. That's why Pop had him at point guard. We had him at center. We're experimenting. We know what he's capable of, right? And he's just getting better and better and better. And what's actually impressive to me is the fact that he has improved each season, even though he hasn't really been in his natural habitat 100%, right? He just hasn't. He's been adjusting to all these different things. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Just want to bring up any chance I get. I feel like more often with Sochan than any other player, I have to bring up the smaller things, right? Like I have to bring up stuff like this. So when I come across it, I do want to bring it up to you because I can't sit here and watch a game in which he has like 6 points and then explain to you how impactful those 6 points were that he had in this game. I can't just look at normal stats when it comes to him. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet that often. Whereas with even Steph Castle, honestly, with Steph Castle and Devin Vassell, their playing style is going to show up in the stat sheet. Most of the time it's going to show up, right? Maybe not always the defensive stuff, but it's going to show up in the stat sheet. But yeah, he's a more nuanced player than a lot of our other guys. So give the praise now and don't just wait. Don't just keep waiting, right? Let's have fun now. Let's recognize what we have now and recognize how good this team could potentially be, rather than sitting back and saying this player should be traded, this player should be gone, this player sucks, this player's trash, this player doesn't do this player doesn't do that, and then you look foolish when we're winning and they're thriving. And then I guess you'll just say, oh, he magically got so much better from last season. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? And we do the same thing with players on this team. You'll see a player struggle a little bit last season with this, go to another organization, have a good stretch, like let's just take like a couple weeks of playing super well, and every Spurs fan to say we held them back. They were so good. They were that good. I want them back. No, it's just different situations, and it's the same thing with us. You have someone like Sochan right now. You might not think too much of him. I promise you, when the Spurs are winning, when they have a more talented team, oh my goodness, he's gonna stand out. He is undoubtedly gonna stand out in those tougher situations, those tougher matchups. He is gonna stand out, and it's gonna be awesome. Anyways, that's all I had to say. So, nuance, people, nuance. We have a top defender in the NBA on our team, not named Wemby. Be grateful for that. Let's be happy about it. Steph Castle's really great too. But anyways, that's all I have to say. Let's see. Biyombo was an excellent pickup. He was a good pickup. Sochan will stand out when we address shooting in the offseason. Vassell's 30 bombs not moving me. There's better options. Trey Murphy. Dude. What do you mean Vassell's 30 bombs aren't moving you? What? We need better shooting. The 30 bombs just aren't doing it for me. What are you talking about? Yeah, I think we really need to just adjust what we think Devin Vassell is or what he should be, and also what his type is making in the NBA, right? Like, I think you need to adjust it a little bit. Is Devin Vassell a bad option if he's third or fourth option, scoring option? Is he a bad like that's like phenomenal in my opinion. That's a phenomenal player to have in that role. Also, I saw someone say something like after that last performance, they were like, man, if Devin Vassell could just give us, if he could just give us a third. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. Hold on. No, this is funny to me because it's like, what are we talking about, bro? Let's look at Devin Vassell stats. Look at this. Somebody said after Devin Vassell scored 37, and people agree with this. They said, man, if we just got a third of that performance every night, man, we'll be winning games. And I'm like, what's a third of 37? What? It's roughly 12 points. Have you not been getting a third of this? Last month, he averaged 13. The month before that, he averaged 17. The month before that, he averaged 15. The month before that, he averaged 16. What are we talking about? If he just gave us a third of that performance, we will be so much better. Hello? What? First off, I need... All I'll say is he's capable of putting up these type of numbers, and he can afford to be a little inconsistent being a third or fourth option. Do I want him to be? No. Is there excuse for it? No. But there's reasons for it. He's not a first or second option. That's one reason. That was me, Clan. I said 75%. Wait, what? You said that? I'm like a third of 37 like 37 points? A third. If you can just give us a third of that. Really? A third of that? He's been giving you a third of that. He's been giving you more than a third of that, actually. So strange. Anyways, I'm going to hop off. Vassell is not a bad player. Obviously, he's not a bad player. He's a good player. Vassell is just one game. People need to relax. I'm sorry, but like, in my opinion, I think people have been insane when it comes to Devin Vassell on the other end. So if people want to praise him for having a good game, so be it, because the amount of hate he's gotten has been way too much. Last game, 15, and not the best in the world, right? But 20, 9, oh, that's a bad performance. 20, he went on this stretch, 5, 6, that's terrible. 13, not great, especially with that percentage. 8, 7, so this is a bad stretch in February. But then he had 25, 15, 20, 11, 18. He's been pretty consistently okay, like, for what he is, like consistently all right. So, but even through this stretch, people gave him so much hate. So if people want to praise him for the 37 points, so be it. Praise him for it. I don't care. We can't be like, you know, we need to keep the same energy on the other side too, because there's so many people that were hating him like disgustingly. Like, it's too much. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off, guys. I'll talk to you later. I hope everyone has a good night. I will upload the videos from this stream over the course of the next couple of days, and we will be going live Friday night because I'm actually genuinely looking forward to that Kings game. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good night.